Hello. Hi, Mona. How are you? Donna, hello. Carolyn, hello. Hello. Here we are. Um, make sure that all my stuff is on. My lights are on. I have a lot of lights here, and I didn't think that some of them were on. So how are you, Stevie? Good morning. So weird because I see that 4 of you are here, but I don't always get the indication of who's here, who's not. All right, so here we are, week 8 of 8. So that's exciting because for me, at the end of the sessions, I always feel the need to do a 12 pose practice at a minimum. I would say I mostly stick to 8 to 10 poses, and typically it's because I do so much warm up. Yet this day gets me to really think about doing more postures and at least 12. So that'll be our goal for today. Anything you'd like to say? I know that those of you that are here, I shared on Tuesday that I'm going to have a free 5-day challenge next week that I'd love you all to join me in. And so hopefully you'll be signing up. And those that already sent me emails, I have sent it off to my assistant that'll put you on my list. And then I'm sending out a newsletter today. So there'll be another option to sign up. All right. So I think that I should get ready. We should go back there and do our thing. More time to actually practice today. Let's do that. All right. So I have a little heater on here and I don't want it to start screaming at us because that can happen. Okie dokie. Perfect. There you go. All right. So for today's practice, there will be at a minimum 12 postures that are specific to stimulating the muscles or the bones or some aspect of bone health that's important. And of course, that means also for healthy aging and so many other amazing things that are important for us to be healthy. And I wanted to say that we don't always think about it at the moment when we're practicing. And I'm hoping that for some of you, you notice throughout your day in different activities or different situations that you start to realize what the value truly is of practicing yoga, whether that's physically keeping your body limber, strong, mobile, or in the mindset piece and whatever little practicing present moment awareness that we do with breath or whatever we're doing. I hope that you really realize and notice the benefits because they are there and they're tremendous. And I hope that I'm able to impart that on you all. And I will say that from the physical perspective, it doesn't happen as often as it used to. When I was in person with people, the conversations, of course, were more plentiful. The interaction was, there before and after class in a different way than it is now. But people would always share with me how they would fall, yet they wouldn't break. And I always say that my goal is to help you become bendable and not breakable, because we want the forces of a slip, trip, or fall to be received by our body and not create fractures or tears or some, injury that can be life-changing, life-altering. So that's why we're here. We're here to every single day that we show up to do something towards being happier and healthier and stronger and more limber, more mobile, and all of that. And it happens. It really does happen. So for today's practice, please get a strap, get a block, get a blanket, and a chair would be a really great thing. Many of you will need that. And then if you don't want to use a chair, be near a wall. In terms of having a strong enough practice to be in the middle of the room, in my experience over the years, at this point, thousands of people that I've observed, no matter how strong you are in your balance and your strength, there's always that tendency for something in that moment to be off, whether it's hydration issues, communication of nervous system. And so the ability to fall exists often, and it's really important to pay attention to that. And so I think it's better to be safe than sorry. And I like to have a chair, even if I think I don't need it, because when we do some of the stronger standing balance work, it can become really important to have that extra support there and safety net. Okay, so we're going to begin the practice today on the ground to ground our mental energy, to bring our awareness into our physical body, to really raise that somatic awareness so we could stay safe while we practice, and also to slow down the mind, to really ground yourself. The flatter you put your body in a position, the more you convey to your nervous system that the coast is clear. So the quicker and the deeper the relaxation response, or the quicker the nervous system stimulation of relaxation can occur. And I'm going to use a block today on our bellies. So if you want to do your legs at the chair, which helps to really relax the low back and the hips and the pelvis, you could get a chair, and if not, that's okay as well. And then the block is going to be a little reference for getting our bellies to move and to connect to our breath. All right, so we're going to come down onto the ground, and with that awareness of not pressing into the front of the spine so we don't contribute to weakening the front of our vertebra, and then bringing yourself onto your back, whatever that means for you, in whatever shape you'd like and whatever props you would like. Let it be individual, let it be what is good for you. And then you're going to grab a block or a blanket or something to put as a reference onto your belly, and put it below the ribs so that you can really move whatever it is you have there with your breath. You can even do a little pumping action right now, and notice how it goes up and down. One way you could really tell is imagine you're laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Or do the H-A, because that actually is diaphragm pushing down. Ha, 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 ha. And you'll see that the whatever you put there moves. So let's get ourselves into position. Press your arms into the ground. Lift your upper back off inside the shoulder blades towards each other so that you have your shoulder blades where they belong. Take your arms out to the side. Start to move your body in whatever way feels appropriate for you. We're all different. We all have different issues in our tissues. Tightness here, tightness there, tears here, tears there, whatever is going on. So close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you could go to the place of feeling. You go to the sensory part of the brain. Let your arms go overhead, inhaling up and exhaling down. Letting your arms come down. Keep your mouth closed. Moving your body to bring a little lubrication so that when you come into whatever you're going to be in with your upper body, you get some kinks out of the hoses, you clear some cobwebs, you create some space, you dust, you brush off the dust. And then bring your arms into whatever position is appropriate for you. So the higher the upper arm bone goes, the more stretch you may experience in your shoulders and or chest. So make sure that that's appropriate for you. This is good for spinal health, good for posture, good for alignment. So bring yourself into whatever you're going to bring yourself into. Let your hands rest on the ground. Let your arms rest on the ground. Don't lift your arms so high that your hands are hovering. So you want your hands to be touching the ground. You want your arms to be on the ground. Find what's appropriate for you. And then bring your awareness to your head, neck, upper body. Let it relax. Bring your awareness to your pelvis and legs and lower body. Let it relax. See if you could feel the weight of your legs relaxing deep into the sockets of the hips. if your legs are elevated. Make sure you're comfortable. And then you have a block or a blanket on your tummy. Begin to move the block or the blanket with your breath. Keep your mouth closed, breathing in and out through your nose. You're breathing with your nose down to your belly. Whatever you have on your belly, a block or a blanket, trying to feel that it moves up towards the sky. Keeping your mouth closed, breathing in through your nose, breathing in down to let the belly rise, and whatever you have on it, feel it rise as well. Feel your belly rise up towards the sky, out towards the sides, and back towards the ground. Deeply warm yourself up, stretching muscles, ligaments, moving joints, compressing organs, compressing intestines, getting things to move, to squish, using pressure in a nice way. And feeling what you feel when you do this. And wherever you are, take 5 more breaths like this. Stay with the breath the entire time. Notice if you get distracted. Try to bring yourself back to the awareness. When you finish that last breath, let the breath go. Bring your awareness to your hands, your arms, your head, your torso, your legs, your feet. Feel and notice what you notice in your body. And then begin to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Take your prop that you had on your belly off to the side. And then gently bring the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. So we're going to go into a little warm up to get the joints lubricated, the tissues lubricated. We're going to need to move the chair away from us. You could push the chair away with your feet, although some chairs actually will collapse. And when I was teaching in the studios I was teaching in, the chairs would collapse. So it really is better to come to your side, to push away from the ground, to get yourself up and to move the chair, if you have a chair there, off to the side to be used later. And then we're going to come back down onto the ground to do a little bit of warm up. So bring yourself all the way back down onto the ground. The goal here is to warm up your joints, your muscles, to create fluid flow with the lymph and the blood. So any movement is good movement. If you could come into full range of motion in your joints, try to find that. Really stretch your body glove here. Only raise the arms overhead if that's appropriate for your body. You could be out to the side, wherever you're going to be feeling a stretch. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, draw the right knee in, bending the hip joint, stretching the psoas on the left side. The right side is contracting. Draw the knee towards your belly. Move the knee around. And then hold on to the knee from above and move that right knee around in the joint. Try to let it be really limber here, or loose, so that you're not actually rocking your body or moving your leg. Go in the opposite direction. Take that leg and open the leg out to the side. Be really high here with this leg, up and out to the side. So try not to be too far away from you and letting it go down. Try to be as high up as you can, opening it out to the side. This, when we do the leg stretch, this is what we want. We want this upper leg bone to be diagonally moving away from you. So it's to the side, but also diagonally up. And we're going to do that when we do the stretch. And then let's take this left leg, take the right leg and move the right leg over towards the left. And try to keep your whole body on the ground. Only the right buttock comes off the ground. So don't even let the right low back fly off the ground. Try to keep the lower ribs, the whole rib cage on the ground, and you're guiding the right leg over towards the left with the left hand, feeling a stretch on the side, the posterior hip, an area that we pull on and push on a lot in our practice of yoga for osteoporosis to create that nice bone stimulation. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take that leg, straighten that leg, and bend the opposite. Draw the opposite knee in. Pull the knee in nice and deep. Breathing towards your belly. And then take that knee, move the knee a little bit side to side. And then take your hand on top of the knee and start to go around in a circular pattern. Notice if it is a nice fluid circle or is there some stickiness to your circle. This is my hip replacement side. So for me, I feel a little bit of it's a ceramic ball inside of plastic. But I actually feel my tendons or muscles kind of going over some of the edges of it. Go the opposite direction. Not in a painful way, just that I understand the structure and I understand where some of that may be happening and I feel it. It's very interesting. And then bring yourself back to center. Take a hold of your knee. You're going to inhale that knee up and out to the side. So it's not just down and out to the side. You draw the knee up and then you open it out to the side. Up and out to the side. And then you're going to come to a static hold. You're going to take that left leg with the right arm and you're going to guide the left leg over towards the right. Keep the right tushy on the floor. Try to keep most of the left tushy cheek on the floor and all of your ribs as well. You've got some pressure here with this hand directing the leg over to the right, and you're going to feel that on the outside of that left hip area as you stretch the outside of the hip. Doing what's appropriate pressure for your body. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take that knee, put that leg on the floor, take the other leg, draw the legs in, and then bring the legs straight. Take the legs now so that they're off the mat, the arms are to the side. Now we're going to come up a little bit higher, stretching the belly, stretching the midsection. So keep the ribs on the ground. Let your legs go. Let your legs be long. Let your torso be long. And as your legs come in to the side, think about that leg lengthening and moving away, coming in and moving away. So not so much about the side to side as it is about the in and lengthening. So you're really lengthening the hip, lengthening this whole front part of the body, and you're not doing a lot of rotational stuff for the back of the body. You may feel it there, but I want you to really focus on the hip joint in the front. Now I want you to see the difference. Now start to go more to the side. Let the other leg go to the side as well. Maybe that tushy cheek comes off the floor. Pay attention to the low back. And if the low back bothers you, activate your core, push your belly button towards your spine to protect. You inhale to the side, you exhale, contracting your core to come back to center. Windshield wiper is one of my favorite ways to stretch my body, to warm up my body. It feels really delicious. And I know that it's really effective at stretching some of the important aspects of our body. And then bring yourself back to center, trying to get some blood flow, some fluid flow. Draw the knees into your chest. We're going to bend and unbend our legs. So let's hold on behind our hamstrings here. Neck is nice and long. Start to be a little bit more firm with your ankle joint. Try to reach the center of your heel straight up towards the sky. Center of the heel straight up towards the sky, so that you feel a stretch going to the calf area. You want a little bit more intensity, move your legs right above your pelvis. Do this without holding on. Contract your core, stabilize your midsection so your belly doesn't fly up towards the sky and the back off the ground. Look at your feet, look at the way your feet track. Try to be really perfect here with your joints when you're tracking your feet. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's bring the feet onto the floor. We're going to move into the first posture here, which is the leg stretch, Supta Padangusthasana number 1. And I want to get the chair because for those of you that have trouble, that maybe have a tighter body, will find a little bit more benefit in using a chair to help with your limbs. And maybe even for some of you, if you're not super tight, but you're kind of needing a little assistance, this may be good for you as well. So having the chair there, only if you need it. I'm going to do it with it. You don't have to, of course, if you don't need it. So you're going to let one leg be straight. And let's do the right leg first. So draw the right leg in. And actually, the left leg doesn't need to be straight. It's only straight for those of you that's appropriate for you. For a lot of people, that may not be the case. And if you're using a chair, it might not be you. But the chair is there for those that have trouble keeping that straight leg, and maybe your leg is pretty far away from you in a straight position. The chair would come in handy to help with the weight of the leg so that you could straighten your leg and try to pull your leg back towards the wall behind you. So whatever you need to do, whether you need a chair there to keep the leg straight or not, I'm just instructing with it today for some of you to have that option. So let's come into our leg stretch, either straighten left leg or keep it bent. Use the chair if you need it or not. If you don't need the chair and you're able to do this with your legs straight the whole way, you could do that. So do whatever's appropriate for you. Let's begin by drawing the strap down, firming up the right leg, push the right leg away from you, and let's begin. Inhale, draw the leg back towards the wall behind you and push the leg away from you at the same time. Real strong effort here. Feel the stretch in your body. Feel the stretch right where the leg attaches to the body, pulling on the pelvis with the hamstring muscle. Deep breaths. And then go ahead and release. Let's do the same thing with the other foot. So go ahead and take the strap off. If you have the chair there, you may need to move either your body or your chair so that you could get one leg straight if you're straightening the leg, or keep the knee bent. It's up to you. Let's draw the left knee in, put the strap on the foot, straighten that leg. You could straighten the right leg if it's appropriate for you. If you need to have a chair there to help support the weight of your leg to keep it straight, straight leg is what we're going for here, which is why I'm suggesting a chair for those of you that need the chair. Because for some, the weight of the leg being this far away from the body is pretty intense. And so if you have the chair there to kind of support you, you could activate that leg and draw that leg back, keeping it straight, even if it doesn't leave the chair that much. Let's begin. Pull the strap down, firm the leg up, push it away from you, and then let's begin. 30-second hold. Draw the leg towards the wall behind you. Rest, not really resting on the chair, but pressing into the chair and pulling back, really active. See if you could feel the pressure here where the leg attaches to the body right at the buttocks. Leg bone and pelvic bone attachment. And then go ahead and release. Take the strap off. If you need between movements to draw your knees in to reset your back, try that. And then for the side stretch, hopefully you can see this. I'm going to put the chair here on the side. This is one area that I notice a lot of issues for people, is with the side leg stretch. And maybe what I'll do is I'll instruct like this, where I put it here so you can see. So what I noticed with this one is that a lot of people don't have the flexibility in their adductors, their inner thigh muscles. So when the leg goes out to the side, it actually goes forward. And what we really want is to the side and towards the back. So having the chair there can actually act as a way to rest your leg there. So I'm going to do my left side first. If you want to do your left side with me, let's switch it up. We'll do left side first. So you're going to draw the left leg in, put the strap on the left foot. Bring the left leg into the air. You want a nice firm hold with your strap so you can bring your strap down, and then you want to put the strap in the left hand. So left foot, left hand. Take a hold in the strap, slide your hand down. If you want to straighten the right leg, straighten the right leg. And then when you begin to bring your leg out to the side, keep it really high, bring it out to the side. For some, resting on a chair, well, not really resting, but using the chair to push into, to draw the leg up towards the back wall may be best. And it's actually better to put your leg on the lower part of the chair, especially if you can get down that low, to stretch that leg. So come into this, drawing that leg towards the wall behind you, trying to keep that left inner thigh as far away from the top right thigh as possible. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself back up to center. We'll go to the other side. If you're using the chair, bring the chair there. Take the right foot in the strap. Hold on to the strap to pull your leg down into the socket, and then take the strap into the right hand. Straighten the left leg if that's appropriate for you. And then lengthen your leg out to the side, out to the side, out to the side. And then at some point, some of you may need a little assistance from the chair to rest your foot on the chair. There. Now, this is only if you need it. I'm only showing this for those that actually need this. And it's to get you to not put your foot forward, but to keep your foot alongside your body so you could keep that inner thigh as far away from the top of the opposite leg thigh. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. Bring yourself all the way out of that. I'm going to move my chair off to the side so I can see you a little bit. Always when I move forward and back, trying to be very conscious of my spine and what's happening to the front of my spine. Bring yourself down, either come into a fully stretched position if that's appropriate for your body, or you could draw your knees into your chest. Either one of these have different effects on the body. Knees to chest adds flexion to the low back, so quite often it's relief for the low back. It's contracting the psoas muscle, so for some that may be a little aggravating for hips. Doing the fully stretched position is taking your muscles and your joints and stretching everything into a full position. So choosing what is appropriate for you here. So I'd like to work on a posture that strengthens the core here. Let's take the block, bring the block between the knees. Let's do a little bit to warm up the core. Think of your core as zippering on tight pants, that the whole musculature, the whole core wraps around from the back of the body to the front of the body. You activate the top, which is the diaphragm, the bottom, which is the pelvic floor, and the whole core, which is like a corset, activates as if you were zippering or tying up a corset to really keep that nice stabilization of the trunk. It's very important for health and for bone health. Let's take your hands behind your head. Your elbows are out to the side. The block is between your knees. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, start to zipper up your core. Zipper, zipper, zipper. Flatten the low back towards the ground. Squeeze the block. Flatten the low back towards the ground. Press the elbows out to the side, so don't let the elbows move up. And then inhale to release. Pressing your elbows into the ground at the end of that inhale, letting the low back move away from the ground. Tushy stays on the ground. You don't lift your pelvis up here. Exhale, zipper, zipper, zipper. Contract your core, contract your core. Press your low back towards the ground. Inhale to release. Exhale, zipper, zipper, zipper. That's the activation of the core on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feel yourself rocking through your spine from the lower ribs to the tip of the tailbone. Last one. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take the block. We're going to do this posture that was added to the second series. It's a challenging one. So basically, you take the legs and you hover at the side. Now, I'm going to put the block here because it's nice and it activates. So we hold for 30 seconds on the side like this. I'm putting the block here because it helps to activate.
The posture is traditionally done without a block and having your legs either like all the way to the side, which not everybody does, or bending your knees and hovering. The thing is, you're going to activate this whole midsection. So there is a lot of low back pressure here. So pay attention to what's appropriate to you. You could put the block between your legs if you feel like you want that little extra support, or you could choose to not have a block. It's up to you. So let's take the legs in the air, take the arms alongside the body, maybe down lower to help. Zippering up, you're going to be doing that zippering up aspect. So start to inhale, moving towards the side. And then when you get to where you are, zipper, 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 add that core contraction. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Keep your rib cage on the ground. Last breath. You bring yourself back to center, bring your knees to your chest. The important thing is that you find the place of hovering that's a challenge that you need to really work to keep your core contracted that whole time, strengthening the trunk support muscles, so those rotational muscles. Take your arms out to the side. Let's inhale into this on this side, zipper, 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 and come into a hold on this side. Go to the place that it's a challenge for you. Zipper, 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 core contraction. And then go ahead and bring yourself out, bring yourself back. Take yourself side to side. Let's come on to our side. Take your hand on the ground. You're going to push yourself to bring yourself up. So let's clear the space, move the strap off. Have your block forward, off to the side. And then let's take the blanket. Bring your knees onto the blanket. Let your joints settle here. So come onto all fours, moving around in whatever feels appropriate for you. And then a little forward and back. Keep your head active here. So don't let it hang, and let your gaze be at least where your hands are, or a little forward of your hands, moving forward and back. And then bring yourself all the way up. I want to stretch the feet. So take the feet, flip the feet under like this. Sit on the heels if it's appropriate for you to do so. If it is, move the heels together. So any variation, you're either here stretching your feet, stretching your toes, or you're pushing back, pressing into your heels. Heels are together. And then you can even activate the core, push the low back, bringing yourself back here a little more so the body weight goes back more pressure into the feet. Make sure that the pinky toes are bent as well, really distributing that weight evenly. Chest is lifted, front of the spine is open, throat is open, looking forward, stretching your feet here. And then go ahead and bring yourself here. And I know not all of your knees bend. Hopefully some of you are able to do this. Sitting like this on your heel, reach down without collapsing your spine. So you're still long spine in the front. You bend at your hip to come forward. Lift the foot up so that you're stretching the top of the foot, and make sure your body weight stays center. So don't let your whole body weight go off to the opposite side. Stretching the top of the foot, maybe a little pelvic and spinal realignment. And then let's go the other side. I say that because I feel it in my own body, so I know that that's happening as well.
If you keep sitting on both heels when you do this, don't let your body weight go off to the other side. Nice front open spine. Feeling the stretch in the top of the foot. One more breath. And then bring yourself forward. Come all the way up here. Take your hands forward. We're going to do plank. One of my favorite postures, total body strengthener. Really great one to do daily or do often. Spread your fingers, point your fingers or forward. Any variation that you want to do. If you want to do modification, you could bring your hands forward and let your body weight come forward and then activate your core to hold yourself up, or come down onto the forearms if that's more appropriate for you. Let's take one foot back, make sure all 5 toes touch, and then take the other foot back. Come into your plank and try to be as long as you can be here. From the tip of the head, all the way down the body to the tailbone, and then all the way down the legs to the ends or the center of the heels. Be as long as you could be. Feel that you're really pulling yourself and stretching yourself here. And now bring your awareness to your fingers. Press all 5 of them on both hands into the ground and push away from the ground. Feel that strength. Now bring your awareness to the left foot. All 5 toes touch. Heel presses back. Right foot, all 5 toes touch. Heel presses back. Long body, breathe. Push away from the ground. Push your feet into the ground, push your hands into the ground. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself down. That was a 1-minute plank. Take your hands, shake your hands. Let's come into a camel posture, which is a back bend. Really focus on this upper part of your spine, the 12 vertebrae that are attached to the ribs here, your thoracic spine. This is where the roundness comes into the body and gets stuck. And we need minerals to leave the bones, calcium being one of those main minerals, to lay down more tissue here, which is what creates the stickiness of that postural position that develops if you're not careful and not aware. So these 12 vertebrae here, the thoracic spine, let's try to open up the front of them here. This is called camel. We're trying to really open up or extend this part of your body here. So if you take your pelvis, you try to bring your pelvis into a more neutral position, pointing the tailbone down, lifting, activating the front of the pelvis, coming into a more neutral position, softening your belly to allow that opening to occur. So when we come into our camel posture, use the shoulder blades that are in the back of your body here to press forward and to lift your heart up. The hand position, you could come into clasping your hands like this, or palms are together. Another nice way, the full variation, you would bend your feet under and you would be able to hold on to your heels. Not everybody likes that. I don't love doing that. A really nice, safe way to do this is to take your hands, heel of the hands presses into the top of the pelvis, or the fists press into the pelvis, pushing the pelvis and the tailbone down, and then softening and opening the front of the body. So in terms of the feet, you could flip your toes under or keep the toes flat, up to you. Hands, you could put your fists, you could put your hands, you could put your hands into this position. Really think about the thoracic. Think about opening the thoracic and stretching the top of your body, okay? Soft belly, so you allow for that stretch, that nice neutral pelvis. So come into whatever you're going to come into. I think for me, I'll do this today. Push your pelvis or let your pelvis move down in the back, lift up in the front. Soften your belly so you can stretch. And let's go. Take an inhale. Press your shoulder blades to lift and to bend that upper thoracic spine. Elbows are moving back. Feel the stretch in the shoulders. Feel the stretch in the chest. Tailbone down. Breathe to your belly. Really stretch, stretch, stretch your upper torso. Stretch the front of your ribs. Stretch the front of your spine. This is not about the head, so don't let the head just hang. Let it be supported. Really stretch the chest, the shoulders, and the spine. Be active. Let the back of the body push forward to open and stretch the front of the body. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Posture is such an important part of osteoporosis. And so that camel posture can really help to strengthen the muscles of the back and stretch the front. Strengthening the back, opening the front. And doing a chest expansion with your hands like this throughout the day is a nice way to do a little correction in your body too, whenever you need. Okay, let's get up safely. Let's do a little practice getting up. So bring your strongest leg forward. Bring your strongest leg forward. Flip the back toes under. And take your hand on that front leg. See if you could come forward and try to lift the back knee up and then put the back knee down. Lift the back knee up, put the back knee down. Really push the front leg into the floor, the front heel, so you activate the glute. Push that front heel and then bring yourself back. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So super strong joint work for the hips, and it works the glutes. Bring the other leg forward, flip the back toes under. Make sure your leg is pretty far forward. If you're too close to your body, it's going to be impossible to lift your leg up. So you need your leg to be pretty far forward. Take your hands onto your thigh, come forward, lift the back foot up, the back knee. But when you do it, think about pushing that front heel into the ground, because that's part of what helps you be able to do this. And even if you don't get a lift off, come forward as if you get a lift off. And on the next one, come forward and lift off and keep going and come all the way up to standing. Okay. I do get thank yous when I teach that getting up and down off the ground, because it's such a helpful thing that you need. So let your tushy go back, keep your back flat, reach down, grab your blanket, take your blanket off, grab your chair, or be near a wall, or both. So let's do the standing postures. A really nice one to begin with, and the first one to begin with is Tadasana Mountain, the posture of alignment. This posture is in all postures because joint alignment is so important. It's in almost all postures. Joint alignment is so important. So let your toes be about 4 inches apart, which is a hip distance. It's not as wide as here. These are not your hips. It's that front part of your body. Take your hands down, reach your hands down like you have something heavy on your fingers. Bring your arms alongside your body. Equally weight your feet. So bring your awareness down to your feet. You have equal weight in your feet, front, back, sides, everywhere. Reach down with your hands. Bring your awareness to the front of your pelvis and gently lift the front of your pelvis up towards your low ribs. Put your pelvis in a nice neutral position. Bring your awareness up your spine, all 26 vertebrae. Nice, long, long, long spine. Chin is parallel towards the ground. Press your head back on top of your spine, and then lift your heart. Lift your clavicle bones. Open your shoulders. Push your hands back. Open your shoulders from shoulder to shoulder. Crown of your head straight up towards the sky. Reach down with your hands, up with your head. If you feel pretty good here, you could close your eyes. That would be a next place to go if you're feeling pretty confident with your eyes, with your balance. Take one more breath. From here, let's move into the tree posture because it's such a great place to go. You already have this alignment in your body. So setting yourself up for a little more success with balance. Move over to one foot. Come on to the tippy toes, move your knee out to the side, and bring your foot up in between your ankle and your knee. Find a point to stare at. Find what's called in yoga a drishti, or a view or a perspective, or something to focus on so that when everything around you is wavering, you can focus and direct your awareness and attention to this one spot, this one area. And then bring your knee forward. Bring your foot right back down where it was. Find that Tadasana again. Reach down with the hands. Hands are alongside the body. Push into the ground and get nice and tall. Push your body weight onto the opposite foot, kind of onto the tippy toes. Knee out to the side. Bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Reach down with your hands. Reach up with your body. Feel the center of your head reaching up. Feel the chin parallel to the ground. Take one more breath. Bring your knee back. Bring your feet down. Tadasana, hands reach down, head reaches up. Long torso, and let the hands reach down and back. Feel the feet into the ground. Pushing your hands back will activate those upper back muscles. You might feel this around the shoulder blades, in between the shoulder blades or the tips of the shoulder blades. Reaching down with the hands and pushing back can be really great to help correct posture, keep you nice and posturally aligned forever. For those with scoliosis, the one side that you have that potential winging shoulder blade, really activate that hand so that you feel that heat and you feel that activation in the shoulders. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and unwind. Take let yourself shake your body. Let everything go, go, go. Take your hips, let your hips go side to side like you're doing the hula. You could be slow or you could be fast. And it's getting shorter way, shorter way, shorter way, shorter way. So let it be that it's the shoulder comes down to meet the hip. This side gets long. Shoulder comes down to meet the hip. And then bring yourself back to center. Okay. So I'd like to do the Ardha Chandrasana half moon posture, one of my favorites. And I think I'm going to do it with the block and or the chair. Not sure yet. Depends on how I feel. So I'm going to get myself ready to be able to do the block if I'd like, but I'm also going to do the chair. So you take your foot, and let me put that back here. You take your foot and you point your foot underneath the chair. We're going to load up on this hip. So we're going to load up on this hip where the hip lights and the heart light are pointing in the same direction. And then we're going to open them to face in the same direction. So we're going to roll in the standing hip joint and be weight bearing on the lateral side of the hip, not something we do in our normal life. So here's an opportunity to strengthen our hip in a way that we would never do unless we were practicing this posture in yoga. All right. So to load up the hip, keep your head active. When I say keep your head active, I mean, don't let this happen. When the head looks down, the spine follows. So an active head is a head that's lifted and looking slightly forward. So active upper back and neck and head. Bring your hand onto the chair, and then you're going to contract your core, zipper, 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 lift your leg up. Then you're going to start to open up your heart and your hips in this direction. Now, for some of you, maybe you want to be on the block. So I would recommend that instead of doing it from this way, you actually come out, come back, come into the block, lift, and then come into the block that way. Definitely more challenging, more balance with the block. You decide what's appropriate for you. What I would like is that this upper leg is very active. Take your arm up to the sky, push your arm back. The shoulder blade will help to open your chest towards the front. That's what we want. Lifting that leg, lengthening your torso, opening your heart towards the center. It's a total balance posture. Maybe you are experiencing that. Long leg, long body. Take one more breath. To come out, you bend the standing leg. Don't bend your spine. Bend your hips, always over the spine. We don't want to bend our spine. We want to bend our hips when we move. Ardha Chandrasana. Chandrasana. Ardha Chandrasana is the half moon. And you're going to take the block there if that's what you're going to do, or you're going to have the chair, whatever is appropriate for you. You're going to first load up onto that hip. It's the hips that are bending. You bring the hand onto the block or onto the chair, whatever you're going to do. And then you lift the leg coming into the posture. The arm up in the air, pushing back can be helpful. But if it feels too much, you could actually bring your hand back onto your waist. Bring your leg up into the air, very active leg that's lifted. Heart and hips are pointing forward. Standing leg can be straight or slightly bent. Long torso. To come out, you bend the standing leg, you keep your head active and lifted, you bring yourself out, you bring yourself up, bring yourself all the way up, and then release any tension that gets developed during some of these stronger postures. You may get a little frustrated or something like that. So let's take the tension out, move your block off to the side. We're going to come into the warrior three because it is a strong posture. It's also a posture of balance. I like to use the chair for this because I like to push away and have one hand down and one hand up. I find this to be a pretty strong posture for me, for my body, for my issues that I have in my body. Happens to be one of the strongest for me. So you're going to have the chair here. The variation without the chair just has the arms lifted off. So you decide what you want to do. Again, this is the hip bending and not the spine. The hip is bending. So come on to whatever foot you'd like. Take the opposite foot behind you. You're going to load into that front hip. So you're going to start to bend your torso, bend, bend, bend. Maybe your hands come onto the chair. Maybe you need them a little higher. You lift that back leg to whatever variation you can do. Push your body weight back so you're definitely in the standing leg and not weighting into the arms. And then the opposite arm of the leg that's lifted, if you'd like, you can lift the opposite arm up. Very strong diagonal pattern for posture strength here in the back of the body. Lift the standing leg up, toes are pointing straight down towards the ground, and reach the opposite arm away. Long legs, long arm. Deep breaths. The breath is power. Take one more breath. Keep your head active and lifted as you bend the standing leg to come out. You put the opposite leg down. Let's come up and out and just recalibrate for a second. Let's come to the other foot. So come to the other foot, toes are pointing down. You're going to bring yourself forward. Bring one hand onto the chair and then the other. Lift that opposite leg. Weight bearing on that standing leg. Make sure your body weight is back. You're not all forward leaning on the chair, but you're really leaning and weighting on that standing leg. Opposite arm to the leg that's lifted if you'd like. Take one more breath. And then you bend the standing leg to bring yourself out. Keep your head lifted. Come all the way up and out. Let's take the chair. We'll do the triangle pose. I love to do triangle pose with the chair. You could do it with a block if you'd like to come down a little farther, or you could be against your leg. So we're going to bring the legs forward here. Straight legs, still staying with this pretty straight leg. We've been very straight legged so far. So a lot of compressive force in the hip when you have a straight leg and your weight bearing on that straight leg, really pushing deep into the hip from the angle that is typical of the way we stand and move, right? Unless it was the Ardha Chandrasana where we actually loaded up on the side. So that compressive force of that hip is what we're working with now. Weight bearing, our own body weight, the best body weight, the safest body weight. Take your feet really wide here for the triangle. The front leg, you lift the toes up and you swivel on the heel and you pick the heel up and back away from you. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Reach your hands down and then inhale your arms up. Reach, reach, reach. Let that side be long, whatever side this is for you. And then bring yourself down into the triangle posture. Pushing away from the chair, hands up towards the sky. You could stay here, or if you're able to bend deeper in the hip, not in the spine, you can come down into a lower version if that's appropriate for your body. Push away and lift away. So you push down to lift up and to lift long. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself up, bringing yourself out, and coming to the other side. Legs are long, as wide as you can get them. Bring your toes up, put your toes under the chair, heel back and away from you. Shoulders forward, up, back. Inhale to lift your arms, and then reach, reach, reach long, starting to bend that side hip. And then bring yourself down and come into the triangle. If you could bend your hip joint a little bit deeper, you could bring yourself lower. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way up, all the way out. So I'd like to go into the side angle. This is really great for stretching the inner thighs. And it bends the knee and really presses the knee in and pulls on the pelvis from the inside when we are doing this. And we start to rotate our trunk. We also get some lumbar spine stimulation here, which is really nice. Toes are forward. You pick up the toes, you move the toes away from you, back heel moves away from you. Shoulders are up, back, and down. Start to put a bend in that front knee as you push away from the back leg. Push away from the back leg as you lift your arms. Come in really nice, loading into that front knee. You may need to walk your foot forward if you're going to load a little deeper and you were not down low enough. Try to be as low as you could be in this, lifting your torso, pushing away from the ground. Try to point the tailbone straight down towards the ground so that you're right out of your pelvis. And then reach long, bend your front arm, put your front arm on top of your front thigh, bend deeper if you can. And then if you can bring your arm to the inner knee joint, try that. Really lengthen your spine and spiral forward, creating some spinal bone stimulation, hip joint, pelvis, femur bone. Long torso. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to the warrior two, and then unbend. Feet are in this nice wide position, so bring the toes forward, pick these toes up, toes are away, back foot is away. Shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Slight bend in that front knee. Bring your awareness to that back pinky toe edge as you inhale to lower down into that front knee. When you come down, you may need to walk your foot forward, maybe. And then you're going to inhale long, bring your hand on top of your thigh. Coming into your side angle on this side. Make sure that back foot is active. Make sure the front foot is active. Hand on the inside if that's appropriate for you. Let that lengthen your spine and rotate your spine a little more. So pressing into your leg, whether your arm is on it or on the inside. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up and out. Shake your limbs. So we're gonna do the standing posture here is chair, which is a deep squat. And when we squat, we create a lot of stimulation lower body. So the chair is bending the hip, bending the knees a little, and then activating the upper body. So let's lower down into our chair today. Take your arms up like this. You're going to have your feet be body distance or hip distance apart. Activate your core to protect your low back. And then let's bend the hip joint as if you were cracking raw eggs that were right at your hips as your low belly comes closer to your top thighs. Reach long, look where your fingertips are. Let your head look off of your fingers. Reaching down, lifting up, bending your hip joint, loading up the hip. Let your toes wiggle so that you're in your back of your body, back of your feet. You're using your glutes, your hamstrings. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. That's definitely a big one. So we're going to come down onto the ground. So go ahead and grab your blanket. Bringing yourself all the way down onto the ground. Make sure you keep the front of your spine open when you move down like this. Bring yourself all the way down onto the ground. Let's do one more strong posture, the bridge. So you're going to move your blanket away from the back of your head. You're on your mat. You're going to first narrow your top part of your body. So slide the shoulder blades closer to the spine. The blanket is gone. You could bend your arms or keep them straight. Walk your feet close to your body. You're not going to look side to side here. Lift your tushy off the ground and then lengthen your pelvis away from you. Let your low back press into the ground. Squeeze your tushy. Press your low back into the ground. Take an exhale. And as you inhale, press your arms into the ground. Press your feet into the ground. Lift your pelvis. Lift, lift, lift. Point the knees away from you and lift your pelvis as high as you can. Now bring your awareness to your thoracic spine where your ribs are. Push your heart up towards your nose, really opening the front of your spine and the top of your spine. Let the weight be in the upper back. Push your feet, push your hands. Deep breaths here. Last breath. Bringing yourself slowly, slowly, one vertebra at a time, down, down, down. Reaching back to grab your blanket, bring your blanket under your head, then draw your knees into your chest. Time to come into the last posture of integration. Very important because you want everything you just practiced to integrate into your cells, your soul, your tissues. Hold on underneath your hamstrings. Let that back bend, relax out of your body. So choose your Shavasana of choice, lengthening your body. You could let your legs be long off the mat, arms to the side. Really let everything go here. Just completely let go and relax.
고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 아리앙카리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 아리앙카리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 카리앙 카리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네 고민내 못간대 우다래 아빠네 가리앙 가리앙 내 맘에 아까네
Gently begin to deepen your breath. Breathe all the way down to your feet, all the way back to your back, all the way out to your fingertips, all the way up to the crown of the head. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bending your knees, drawing your knees in to your body, rocking side to side.
all the way onto your side, and then pushing away from the ground to come up to seated.
Let your elbows be underneath your shoulders. Let your spine be nice and long. And from there, bring the hands together at the chest. Let the thumbs press to the chest to the thumbs. Nice long spine. We'll close with sound, vibration, humming, mouth closed. Take a big exhale and a big inhale. Our bowing is a gratitude movement, coming forward without bending your thoracic spine, bending at the hip joint. It's reverence, it's gratitude, it's being thankful for what we just did, for the wisdom that exists for us to take care of our bodies for the rest of our lives, to have the power and control to actually do that, the wisdom and the know-how and the guidance. Namaste. So that practice today was 13 postures. I don't know why we're so fixated on the 12, but I guess I do know why, because there's actually a study that proves you can increase bone density with yoga. And that's the work of Dr. Lauren Fishman. And so that 12 was the magic number. So we did 13 today. So we got a little extra bone building stimulation. Pay attention to how you feel. That'll be your gauge on what's appropriate for you. Maybe you could add a little more. Maybe you need to pull back. Only you know what's right for you. So listen to what your body and your mind and your soul is telling you. All right, how was that for those of you that are here? I see somebody, I think, came in. I can't see from that far. Janice. Oh, hi. Oh, wow. Aw, thank you so much for saying that, Janice. Like, that really touches me. That's super sweet. I hope you're still here. I was broken too, not my back, but my body was broken as well. And it's so nice to be back. And yes, physical and mental, right? Because it doesn't just stay in the body. It becomes us, it goes into the mind, and we start to feel broken. So yeah, thank you so much. Really nice to meet you. Donna, thank you. Carolyn, great. Yep, try to, spice it up a little bit. I know I feel them all, so hopefully you do too. Lynn, hi. All right, ladies. So next week we're off. I'm not doing YouTube. I'm not doing my Torrance Memorial classes. If you do want to sign up, you'll need to sign up for the classes online for Torrance Memorial or YouTube. You'll sign up for my newsletter and then get reminders of my classes every week. And next week, I've got a 5-day bone health challenge where every day we raise awareness to something to challenge ourselves with, which means to really pay attention to what it is we're doing and to try to get a little bit more or adding some little extra challenges into whatever it is we're doing. So send me an email, debbie@debbierobinson.com. And I am sending out my newsletter today, I think, with the sign up to make sure you're on there. But I've been working on this for a few days, creating videos. And then there's going to be a live Facebook, or not live, but there's going to be a Facebook. I'll go on there every day. I mean, I just might not be live on video format there. But every day I'm going to post something and really create this healthy bones lifestyle community that we can all be a part of and share our stories and our experiences. All right. So thank you so much, Stevie. Awesome. Thank you. Well, I love having you ladies out there. Those of you that are, I don't want to say old and new because you're not old. Those that are, I don't know, some of you will help me figure out terminology for that. But anyway, I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Join my 5-day challenge. So even though I won't be teaching next week, I will be doing things with you. And then I have a healthy bones lifestyle masterclass. That's going to be my baby, that 4 times a year I do that shares a lot of information, physical, mental, and then food aspects of bone health. And there's an online portal for that. So you'll have access to that forever. So that starts on May 9th, day after Mother's Day. So go to my website, debbierobinson.com, look around, see what you want to do. I'm starting to make it a little bit more like this. You could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. So you have choices. All right, a little more clear, I guess is the word. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining me. Janice, really nice to meet you. And have a great day, ladies. And then men, if you're out there, Steve in the background, Lee, whoever's out there. All right, bye.